Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to another brand new episode. Very excited to welcome back to the show my dear friend, Jackson Stokes. If you have been following along, he's been on here talking about some different music over the years. We've done a big party in 2019. He was a part of the first Deb stock that I put together as a benefit for my mother. So he's become a great friend over the years, and I was super excited to spend some time with him while he was in town talking about his brand new Passengers EP that is now available wherever you get digital music at. And we're going to deep dive into it, talking about some stories behind the songs. Played a couple stripped down live ones for you. And had a lot of fun. Hope you enjoy this one. I do want to remind you, as always, Rock Paper Podcast is brought to you by Friendship Brewing Company in Wentzville, Missouri. Serving up all your craft beer needs. Over 25 rotating taps over there. So they're sure to have a beverage just right for you. And you can come by and get some delicious food. You got your burgers and nachos and flatbread pizzas and pretzels and all kinds of tasty eats. And, we're getting here in the fall, beautiful weather and perfect for the patio. So come out, bring some friends and enjoy some the patio, some food, some beers, and some great live music every weekend out there. Let's see, they kick off your weekend at Friendship Thursday night, October 26th, the Singo Bingo Halloween edition. On Friday, October 27th, you got Jeff Waltshauser. And Saturday, October 28th, Steve Kyle. If you can find full listing of concert information, food menu, beer menu, and everything else at friendshipbrewingcompany.com. And don't forget, this Saturday night, October 28th, they will be hosting their Halloween party. So be sure to get your costume, and they'll have pumpkin carving contest and Halloween games and all kinds of fun over there at Friendship Brewing Company. You've heard me mention it on the show, but you need to come see the brand new Friendship Brewing Fly High location located in Flint Hill, Missouri, just outside of Wentzville. And you can come have a real good time over there as well. You got your same great beers, but a brand new kitchen designed by the Fly High Kitchen. You got your it's a partnership with some of the folks over at Duke's Barbecue. And so great food, great beer, and a lot of fun over there. And you can see some live music at the Fly High location on Friday, October 27th. You got Terrence Wafer. And October 28th, Saturday night, you've got Corey Clapper out there. Again, you can find all the information and more at friendshipbrewingcompany.com. Be on the lookout for a new location in Hannibal, Missouri. And you'd be sure to get plugged in with them on your Facebook and Instagram. That is it for me, everybody. If you need me, you can always find me at rockpaperpodcast.com. Hit me up on the socials. Feel free to email me, rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy a brand new episode with Jackson Stokes.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey, this is Jackson Stokes, and you are listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
This is beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats is the Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot, could be rock, folk, country or hip hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with returning guest, Jackson Stokes.
Yes. Thank you for having me, Shane.
Yeah, welcome back, buddy. This is cool, man. I'm always love these. I use this show as a good excuse to hang out with my friends, and that's the case today, man. I was scrolling through, looking at some of the old episodes, and we've done a lot of cool stuff together over the years, and it's kind of fun that they're all documented there. With between talking about all sorts of different music and playing the Songwriter show and doing Deb Stock together and all kinds of fun stuff. But it's just cool for me to see that we're still doing this thing, and you were doing it at a very high level now, and it's awesome to see, man. I'm really proud of everything you got going on right now, and so we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. I saw your sticker and it said since 2014. And I was like, man, that's a huge accomplishment. Keeping anything going that long, especially something. And I've seen your career grow and everything. So it's been fun to, this is one of my favorites to come on because it's like a little measuring stick through both of our careers. You know what I mean? And so I'm glad to be here. And man, you're coming up on 10 years, bro.
Yeah.
Have you thought about this?
A little bit. I've been trying to think about what to do. I'd like to throw a big old party of some sort. I don't know what that will entail, but I feel like a decade and 1,000 plus episodes of the show, it's definitely a cause for celebration. So
very much so.
We threw a party last year in July for 1,000 episodes. So that was cool to do that. And, but yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what 10 years is going to be, but I'm looking forward to it.
Dude, Presley fest, man.
Yeah, right.
Presley fest, bro.
All right. But yeah, definitely I'd like to get into that, move into that level to where I can start doing even small festival type settings, something like that. And I think it would be fun.
Well, we all love Deb Stock. So
yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. So I moved that to, which is why I didn't really do a birthday. I do a birthday show every summer for the show, which happens to be, it's the birthday for the podcast. It was always kind of a yearly celebration, but it always ends up falling around my birthday too. And I didn't do one this year because I did move Deb Stock from the fall to spring in May for Brain Cancer Awareness Month, and hopefully grow from there and have it a more structure or more centered thing, like more set now that everything's kind of moving forward. So, but yeah, so I was kind of thinking, well, I don't want to do something right after. I want to put a lot of effort into Deb Stock, and I want to do another big show right in June or July. So I took a little break, and then it wound up. Now we're in October, so I'm like, maybe I'll just wait till do a real big one in 10 years. So I didn't want to stretch myself too thin, and
I get that. I mean, you asked me about my St. Louis show, and I was like, oh, shoot. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I got to really, really put it down now because it's gotten away from me.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm a busy guy, but that's kind of the fun now that getting to spread out a little bit, getting to spread the love around and hitting some other markets, and then come home and throw a nice party when we can. So, but we're here today because you've got a brand new EP Passenger is available now on all your favorite platforms. And we got a big tour. We're getting out there talking about this. But I think first I'd like to say officially congratulations on everything with your recent nuptials, getting married on your...
Thank you very much.
So that was super exciting for me to see.
It's been a wild month.
Yeah.
It's been a wild month. Yeah.
But that was cool. You got a little break to celebrate and have a good time. And I did think it was kind of wild that you got married and then the next weekend Maddie got married, right?
Yeah, I was at both.
Yeah. So I was just like, and then a year before you guys were all on tour together and stuff. And so it's just kind of funny. Like all my friends were getting married. So
yeah, Dev got married too this year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It's been really cool. And I think, I call them rock and roll marriages. You know, it's fun. Everyone thinks it's the opposite thing, but when you find the right one, then it just makes the rock and roll even better and go harder in positive directions.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that was exciting to see. I saw some pictures and video from the night, and it looked like a really good time. So I'm real happy for you too. And
shout out to my wife Leah. She crushed it. She did most of the work on that, and you'll see some clips and stuff. And so kudos to her. She made the party happen.
Well, you were in the midst of a pretty big run, man. So I can understand that you probably didn't, besides through the phone or the laptop or whatever, but you weren't. You were out there setting world records, which was wild, man. You and Devon and Donovan all hit the road, and you guys played 50 shows in 50 states in 49 days, right?
Dude, nailed it, Shane.
Yeah.
You nailed it, man.
Which is unreal, man. That's a heck of a run.
It was a heck of a run, and it scratches all the Jackson Stokes itches, man, of like rigorous, crazy travel and getting to see everything, a different place every single day. And for me, it's like, now, I don't want to do 49 days straight, all the time, but staying busy is a key part that keeps me going on the road. When you're staying busy and you're just focused on the music and making things happen and doing that show every single day, and then like things fly by, and then you're home, you do what you love, and then you come home,
Yeah.
So that was the nice part, it kind of went, but it was long.
Yeah. Well, take me back to that day. Did you get a text or a call from Devon? And he's like, "Hey, I got an idea."
Yeah. So Dev, we have lunch, every couple of weeks, when we're home. And so came to me, he's like, "Man, I got this idea and I want you to be a part of it." He's like, "I want to do 50 states and 50 shows in 50 days or whatever it was." And I was like, "I'm in. That sounds amazing."
Was it purely intentional to break the record, or was he aware of the record? And
I am, and I don't want to like totally answer for him because I don't know the 100% truth, but like, it was a dream kind of that he had for a very long time.
Sure. Yeah.
Without a,
when this was, and it was like his 50. He's turning 50, right?
50. Yeah. He's 50 years old.
Yeah.
And so it just all kind of came together. And on the family revival, he met Donovan. Mm-hmm. And Donovan's another like road warrior. Donovan will go do 28 shows in a row just to do it.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Man, I think this is the perfect teammate for it." And they made an EP called Rollers, which was really cool. And we went on the road and did every single state. The first day we did 2 states. This is the question everyone asks, is how do you get to 49?
Right.
And we did Annapolis, Maryland during the day. I think the set time was 2. And then we did like a 8:00 festival set in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And then after that, it was smooth sailing besides some really hot days in the South in August and September, But it was really, I think when you grow up, you dream of doing crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so in my eyes, when you get the opportunity to, you just every day it's like, all right, let's go, man. Here we are, 32, 35, 42. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you have a favorite moment, or was there anything like that really stands out on that run, or was it all just a blur?
It's yes, it's more of a blur, but you do have moments that stand out. I surfed for the first time in Tybee Island.
Nice.
Which is like, as a Midwestern kid, like I couldn't explain to all the coastal. I was like, dude, it's like when we get to see an ocean, I was like, some people work their whole year to go see the ocean for like 3 days, I was like, it's always a big deal to me. And me and David Gomez got a surf lesson from Donovan Frankenreiter, who's an incredibly famous surfer. So it was really awesome. But I think the best day was we were in Bayfield, Wisconsin, which is northern Wisconsin. And this venue was like out in the woods. And so no one had service. And, I woke up and people were kind of, it wasn't like great because no one could do anything. But then everyone rallied and we ended up, hanging out, and we set up these chairs, and Donovan had this beautiful vinyl record player, and we played, John Coltrane, like in the woods, and just sat and listened, and it was one of those times where we didn't have our usual things to go to. So we had to kind of rally, and it ended up being one of the best days. And even later on, we went and took a cold plunge in Lake Superior, and that's what it's about. Mm-hmm. That's what this tour was all about, is the little places that you may not expect to be great and turns out to be great.
Yeah.
And that's what you kind of learn, is every place has a great part, and every place has a part that needs a little work, or they're and they're working too, you know what I mean? Like they know it,
Yeah, you quite the crew to get to tour with. You guys, I'm sure it's like a brotherhood now. Like getting to hang with all those guys. Getting the Devon Allman project, right?
Oh yeah,
getting but yeah, I hung with old John Lum not too long ago on the podcast, and between him and Donovan, there's some pretty solid mustaches going on in that.
Fantastic mustaches. We should talk about that.
That was one of my favorite things about Allman Revival last year. I think it was the St. Louis stop here. Yeah. That was Donovan's birthday, and they passed out mustaches, and
yes,
I was like, I've never been to a show where I got a fake mustache.
There's nothing better than getting on stage and seeing like this 11-year-old kid or like 45-year-old woman with a giant mustache on, just enjoying it. And then they kind of forget that they have it on. So you just see them being themselves with this mustache. It's awesome. Fantastic mustaches. And it was kind of a dream crew, all the St. Louis cats from the project. David, I've toured with all over the world. He's one of my best friends in the world. And, we toured with Tonina, and we used to play 5 times a week in Miss Jubilee, and Schlafly Bottle Works every Wednesday, and Evangeline's every Sunday for brunch. It's a deep cut there.
Right.
But, and so ever since then, we've just kind of been switching and working together, and he's just blazing it up on the road. And so that was easy. And then John Lum, who I met John Lum through, I used to work at a popcorn company called Poptions. And John Lum was this very quiet guy who used to deliver the seed. And I would just say, "Hey, what's up, man?" He'd say, "Hey, what's up?" And then Justin Corrigan later on was working there and told me that he was a drummer. And so I invited him to play a gig, and he killed it. And so, but we originally knew each other from our side jobs. We'd like seen each other off and on for a year and a half before we ever knew that we played music. Yeah. So he was there, and he's a rock, and then, I've always loved working with Donovan. And so the best part was I wasn't even worried. I was just excited about the people he was going to bring. It was kind of 4 and 4. And so, Matt Grundy, who's an awesome bass player, and I just learned so much from him. And then my man, Dan Russo, who's, a great, he worked his ass off on the crew, but he's also just a talented musician as well. And so And now he's still out, I think, on the road.
Yeah.
Because he went on a different tour after 50/50. So, Dan, if you're listening, buddy, kudos to you.
Yeah.
Ultimate road dog.
Yeah, man. Well, you got a little bit of time off to celebrate, like I said, the wedding and everything, getting some, and we also just released the record, celebrating this week, and but you are getting ready to hit the road, headlining your own tour, celebrating this Passengers record, and heading out there. So I think it'd be good to talk about this record now, man. Like it's your second now with Devon under Create Records.
Yeah.
And really sounds awesome, man. I really enjoyed it. I've listened to it twice on my drive over, just giving it a proper, getting in the mood and everything. But you got to record most of this here in St. Louis
Yeah.
at Sawhorse.
Yeah, it was really cool. When you kind of make a record, you either want to go out of your element or maybe use your like if or you have someone come into your element. And so we did it at Sawhorse Studios because we love Sawhorse.
Yeah, beautiful space.
I've been working with Chris Turnbaugh for a long time. So it's just, I never have to worry about anything there. They're always awesome and consistent. Great analog gear. So, but then Devon, who's kind of executive producer essentially on this EP, he suggested that Luther Dickinson come and produce. And I had never thought of that idea, but thought it was a perfect idea, which is what you want, when people suggest things. So Luther came to St. Louis, and what was cool is to have Luther in St. Louis and at our houses. And we kind of crafted this, but there was the one element of something outside, kind of brought in. And so we did it with Luther in 3 days. The same band that I get to tour with played on the record. So Ben Bickline on drums and Paul Brackens on bass. And they absolutely killed it. Yeah. Luther, made sure, was hard on them, but they absolutely rose to the occasion. And I think really showed pretty much when Luther left, he was very impressed with St. Louis. Nice. And the caliber of cats and professionals we have here. So I think that was the coolest part about it. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Sorry. R. Scott Bryan also tracked it live with us. Nice. Who is another great friend, but also just a great mentor in this long game. And he's a one-take monster at all the percussion work. Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah, that did you get a chance to take Luther around to get lunch at your favorite spot or anything? If he's not as familiar with St. Louis, where do you like to take him to?
Well, the main places we can show anyone are lunches and the studio. Right. So it's like South City. So we have Gooseberries, or we have El Bronco, or oh man, what's another one? Or we'll get Indian or something. But El Bronco was very consistent. Yeah. So we love our Mexican food. I feel like everyone can find something they like. It's easy. So I'm trying to think of anything. I don't think we did emos. Right. That's not really his vibe. Yeah. But I'll have to ask him. But you don't get as much time. But what's cool with me was he actually came over to, our house, which, is in Overland. So it's not like he saw the arch or anything. But he really spent time to be here and hang out by the fire and learn who the artist is, and we did a lot of production here. Mm-hmm. And that was really cool, just for someone to put their guard down and not, and just come into your home and make it, and, but also be someone of high musicality and regard,
Yeah. Yeah. He's a bad dude.
He's a bad man. He's a really, really good person.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan. I've been, North Mississippi All-Stars and everything, but that was really a treat to see him sitting in on the family revival with Cody also. And so, yeah, that was cool to get in to see him live jamming with you guys and stuff. So, But yeah, the record sounds great, man. I say we give it a listen. Let's start with a track, Ride. The title of the EP comes from this song, right? I guess you mentioned Passengers in there. I'm assuming that's kind of partly where it kind of comes from. But
no, exactly. Well, this song, Ride is about, I like something called an all-day groove. It's a groove that can just go all day.
Yeah.
And you can drive along to it or ride along to it. But, really it's about, in this life, you can try to control as much as you want, but you can't control anything. So instead of trying to drive all the time, you got to ride. And you got to ride the waves. You got to ride what life gives you. And I just hope this song makes it easier to do that.
Ride, ride, ride without stopping. This long, strange trip. Everything's closed. What the hell am I supposed to do? I'm stranded again. What the hell am I supposed to do? It's late at night and we don't know what's in our future. If you don't know, let the road be your teacher. So let's just ride, ride, ride without stopping this long, strange trip. Ride, ride, ride without stopping. All I've got to give to a ride. There was about 30 minutes ago. GPS is a mess, radio stuck on a Christian shore. We all wanna drive, but we're only passengers. If you surrender and go with the flow, let your ride be your teacher. Let's just ride, ride, ride without stopping this long, strange trip. Ride, ride, ride without stopping. All I've got to give. Ride, ride, ride without stopping this long, strange trip. Ride, ride, ride without stopping. All I've got to give. Letting it flow, having later plans. Hotels far away, but we still wanna smoke with some fans. We gotta get home, we leave at 7 a.m. But we're here right now and we don't want this to end. So let's just ride, ride, ride without stopping this long, strange trip. Ride, ride, ride without stopping. All I've got to give. Ride, ride, ride without stopping this long, strange trip. Ride, ride, ride without stopping. All I've got to give. Long, strange trip. Long, strange trip.
you mentioned we might be seeing a music video sometime
Yes.
very soon for this.
Yeah, I think in the next couple weeks there
Yeah.
should be a music video out, and so this is, I guess, the next single.
Yeah. Yeah, you. I guess the first would be in Gemini, right?
Yep.
That would let off late 22. I guess that came out and somewhere in there.
Yeah, what are we
Something
over
like-
23? Yeah, it was
yeah,
late 22.
right.
Yeah, it was about a year, 9 months
Yeah.
before, something like that.
I
Yeah.
remember getting to see you play it live at the factory here in St. Louis, which
Yeah.
was a nice treat.
That was a special show. That
Yeah.
goes down in one of my favorites,
It's a cool room, man.
unbelievable room. And they had, they have the name up there, and there was all my family got to be there, which, doesn't happen as often. And, it was just, it was really cool. It was kind of a culmination of a lot of work, kind of come together just for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
So, but that was the special one. I'll remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I could have been a part of that and in the crowd there and getting to cheer you on, man, because that was a cool night. And like I said, it made me very excited to see the Jackson Stokes banner hanging back there and stuff, getting to open the show up and but yeah, that's such a cool space. I'm really glad that that's around now. I really like what they've done. I think it sounds great, looks great. I liked with the seated shows. They have these nice comfortable chairs down there and stuff too. So
The factory is fantastic. Crew's really great, because I work on a lot of these tours. I'm working crew too.
yeah,
So, which is another kind of factor I like.
right. Well, then, so you can catch that Allman Family Revival we've mentioned a couple times. That'll be coming back around in November 25th at the factory. So
Yes.
So if you got family in town for Thanksgiving and stuff, take them over there and have a good time. And
Yeah, please come see. It's going to be an amazing show, and I think everyone's gonna like the set list.
Yeah.
And everyone's gonna like the flow. So come if you love the Allman catalog and the Allman, what I almost call a genre of music, then you'll love the evening.
yeah, and star-studded cast of special guests and stuff. So it's going to be a cool night
For you.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you got your own, like I said, you're hitting the road, celebrating Passengers, and we're hitting a bunch of different markets, but locally in St. Louis, you have a stop on November 17th at Schmitty's in
Schmitty's.
Belleville, Illinois, and Metro East over there. So,
Yes.
so if you are in the St. Louis area and you hear this, come on out and celebrate Passengers with us.
Yeah, Joe Schmidt and Schmitty's through all their even when they change locations, they've always been great to me and hit me up, and I was like, oh man, we gotta go do Schmitty's. And so we don't get to play in the area as often. In a good way, we've made a lot of markets in the southeast and northeast. And so that's where we're going for October and November. It's also a little warmer this time of year. So
All right.
So we're doing that for the Passengers tour, but we had to do something, and I haven't done the Illinois side in far too long.
Right. Yeah, you got a couple different Illinois stops on the run. So
We actually have Night Shop with Yard Eagle
All right.
in Bloomington, Illinois,
yeah,
which is the hometown of Jacob Baxter.
yeah. That hopefully maybe you guys do. I'm sure there'll be some guitar swap going on that night, right?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, I love Jacob in many ways, but he's an absolutely fantastic guitar player, and we've been trying to play, and something always happens or something goes. So
Yeah.
we just made it happen. It's gonna happen. So come on out.
Cool, man. Yeah, that sounds like a ton of fun. But yeah, we did do a couple of live ones here today, which I thought was a nice treat. I always enjoy some various stripped down versions of these songs, and you played one of my favorites, Until the Morning.
Yeah.
Messing around town don't do me no good. Feels so right, but I know it never should. Better than sitting at home Here is some precious time. Tonight I'll stay, I won't go away. I'll stay until the morning light. Would you convince me, babe? I'll stay until the morning. Will you twist my arm again? I'll stay until the morning light. Until the morning light. I'm waking up so early, but I can't close my eyes. It's hard to leave, sitting on cloud nine. Let's go see the sun rise up in the east. This is the night, the side I'll fight. I'll stay until the morning light. Will you convince me, babe? I'll stay until the morning. Will you twist my arm again? I'll stay until the morning. Will you convince me, babe? I'll stay until the morning. Will you twisted my arm again? I'll stay until the morning light.
This was, like I said, it's always fun for me. This is kind of how I picture some of these kind of come together. I don't know if that's how you write or if it's acoustic or how, but like I just picture you hanging out down here in the basement or jam room or or your bedroom or whatever it is, and just kind of noodling around until these starts taking form. But so I feel like this is as close as or closer to how it started before we got to the record and stuff. But that's always my feeling about it. But this was a nice treat. And but what would you like to? Anything you want to add to around this song?
Yeah. Well, Until the Morning, it's what starts the record. It's the song that I didn't think would make it on and became a lot of people's favorites, which you don't expect. But through that, I've actually learned to really, really love it. And it's just kind of about back in the day when you could go out and you can do that, and you can't do it all the time, but every once in a while you gotta keep going out there until the morning.
Yeah. That it's just very just smooth, man. I don't like this whole record has a lot. Ride's more of the rock side, but this a lot of this kind of has these like just more a little bit almost kind of touching into the R&B. Like they're very, really smooth songs, and just it was cool to hear from you, and like just obviously it's nothing new, and you've always had it in your sound, but I feel like Luther kind of pushed it in a slightly different direction maybe. And
well, what was really cool was Luther. Luther kind of asked, I guess the only way I can say it is an example. He goes, how do you tour? And I said, well, we tour with a trio. It's for a lot of reasons. We can all fit in my van. Shout out to Gracie. And but also we've had a chemistry that we've built up for a long time through thousands of miles, through shitty hotels, all of it. And you can't replace that. So he was like, well, we definitely need to have that. And he was very insistent on let's keep it sparse to where when you go see the band, which had already been, like the show's already there. The shows, we've been playing these songs for a long while now, some of them. And when you go see the band, he was like, when you take the CD home, you want it to kind of be the same thing.
Right.
And so there were some choices that were kind of even not hard for me, but like I wanted to play a certain guitar, and he's like, no, we got to make sure that we use the guitar that you're going to be using, and I was like, oh, and so I think it defined the sound a lot more, and made it a more definitive sound and a more definitive style. That's kind of me, and I think that's what you hear rather than here's some songs with all, I don't know. I've done it every which way badly. So,
yeah, it's, I don't know, man. It just sounds real good. Makes you feel good. And, I think it was a good way to start the record. But there's another one I wanted to share from the record, and we chose to give you the studio version of a song called Early Riser, and this was one of my favorites, mainly because I relate a lot. I very much I'm guessing probably a lot of this is based on a true story.
Yes.
But Stacy, my wife, is she gets up like 4:30 in the morning. She got to be at work by 6, and I stay out all night, and so there's a lot of these things like and smelling like a club and and all this stuff. Like, I mean, all of my nights working down at Oyster Bar and coming home smelling like beer and everything else. Like, just so very much relatable to my lifestyle as well. So
it's kind of like the ode to the industry worker, because I kind of feel like musicians and bartenders or bouncers are pretty much we're all in that same industry, so we have similar hours, and it's just. I can't explain how you wake up and like, even if like you only slept 6 hours or something, you just feel weird because you're like, it's midday but she's cranking and then you're like, all right, that's why we do it. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Eggs and toast on the burner, rising to the rhythm of the sun. Smell that coffee, smoke some MJ. Tastes better made by the one. You're my early riser, cracking eggs at dawn. I wake up brighter. My early riser. Restless soul in the morning. I'm still snoring, when's it gonna end? I am lucky that she's waiting until my lazy ass gets out of bed. You're my early riser. Wake up brighter, when I can see you in the morning. My early riser. I'll stay up late, I eat too much, I haven't heard of moderation. You want to sleep just way too early. Of you, that's how you avoid temptation. I won't let this slip away. Time to wake up, it's double digit. I smell like a dirty old club. I had to work late, but I rose early. You're the perk of always getting up. You're my early riser, cracking eggs at
But yeah, man, another great tune, and you can find it on all your favorite platforms now. Like I said, and are you having physicals available? On the shows?
Physicals will be on sale November 3rd on Amazon, but they will be at all our shows. So starting next Thursday, which is the 25th, I should know that. We're in Charleston, so we'll have them at every show. So we will have them at the Schmitty show as well, along with new t-shirts, hats, rolling papers, all the stuff you need and love.
Yeah. I do enjoy, I'm always like in the merch, but it's like, I always find it fun whenever you find something unique at the merch table, like a rolling papers or whatever it might be, like.
Yeah. Well, I part of me was like, you think of koozies, but I don't drink anymore. So it's like, okay, what's a little more authentic to me? So, without giving too much information away, no, but it has been really cool. And it's just like a simple kind of unique thing. And people have been really loving it. So I'm going to keep it around.
Yeah, man. Same kind of thing. Like I always try to come up with something different with some of my merch, and some of my biggest sellers were like the stocking caps and stuff. Yeah. Like just people like wearing them because especially around here, it's some cold winters, and so they're practical and they look cool and everything else. So it's like, it's good, that kind of thing. Like you find things that people are actually going to use that,
and that
happens to have your name on it.
That is the one thing I did with the rolling papers too, was I said like, okay, if I'm going to get some rolling papers, like, then I'm going to have to smoke my rolling papers. Like I can't be using other rolling papers and selling that. Like that's not how I'm taught to be a business. So I made sure that they were like French fine, organic, and unbleached. And they've gotten rave reviews, and they're the only ones I use for like the past year. So, I'm doing okay so far. No, but that's part of it, is if you just have a good product that says your name or your business, then that's what you want. I'd rather have that than like, a great design on a bad product, I guess.
And I guess is it just CDs at the moment? Or?
CDs at the moment. I'm sure we'll look at doing the vinyl thing. I would love to do that. I think we'll probably wait because this is a Passengers Volume 1. Mm-hmm. So there will be a Volume 2. And so we'll probably end up doing a vinyl of both and putting it together.
A side, B side. Huh?
A side, B side. They're going to have a little different vibe.
Yeah.
And some of the songs on there are from the first session, so it's not like we're totally making it new. They're going to have a similar kind of characteristics and stuff. So
nice.
I'm really excited about the idea, and I'm excited about the contrast too. So.
Yeah, man. Well, that's exciting to hear. Some even more new tunes coming sometime soon. It's always working. Always. I had a young man write in a question for you. Maybe this might be appropriate timing wise. But Brett wants to know where does he find his inspiration and motivation, and what's his favorite go-to writing techniques / process. So I feel like, finding the motivation to, we already have the first collection, and then we are, you're working on, like I said, the next one, whenever that might be, but always writing. And,
well, I mean, what's kind of weird is right now, I'll be honest, I feel very disconnected to writing. It's been since 50-50 and coming back and getting married and everything. It's been kind of the longest time since I've been able. It's just like when you haven't used a muscle for a long time. Mm-hmm. So it's like I've been self-conscious about it this week. But really, the best way, best writing technique, I think, is to study a lot of things and to soak up. So that means, listen to records that inspire you. Mm-hmm. Take notes of those records. but also spend time in silence, soak things up, journal, get things out, take in what you've been taking in to rack up your experiences, and then you can put them in songs. That's a lot of it,
Yeah.
And then also just, if you're just playing all the time, you're going to have the ones that just kind of pop out and come out too. And you got to be ready for those, So, but what was the first question he asked?
Oh, he said, where does he find his inspiration and motivation?
Oh, I think motivation is just, in a great way, it's kind of my job now. So, and since it's a job I really love, it's pretty easy to kind of get that motivation. But there's definite times when you have to completely change your schedule and go, okay, well, for these 5 days, I got to write, and that means I can't be checking this and I can't be doing that and I can't be going out. You know what I mean? Like I got to just stay and do it and put your flame, fire to the flames a little bit.
Yeah.
Your ass to the flame.
All right. I feel like part of that too, not that I'm a writer or anything, but I feel like, you're saying you haven't really wrote anything in a while, like with being on the tour and everything. But like, you have to kind of like live a little bit of life to have something to write about too. So like, so I feel like you take in all these moments that you're saying, and like when the time does come, do you want to?
Yeah. And you take in ideas too.
Right.
So there is, there's always like, oh, here's half a verse and here's this. But for me, sometimes I need some time when I'm back to like put it together. And that's what I was for sure subconscious. But you're exactly right. You need to fuel the muscles, you need to fuel the stories.
Yeah, man. Well, I can't wait to hear what's next from you. Cause like I said, this EP is a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed it, and excited for the rest of the country to give it a listen around, getting play it live for everybody coming up here. And but we do have one more, and this was another live one. This is the closes out the record. So this is called Don't Tempt Me.
Yeah.
And what comes around when you think about Don't Tempt Me?
Well, Don't Tempt Me is what I hope to be a groovy song. And it's pretty self-explanatory lyric wise. Yeah. It's why don't we just say, let's be upfront with people and get this stuff done, whether it's during the nighttime or like whatever. Just there's a lot of context you can take it. But also with this one, it was kind of funny because I showed Luther my demo that I made in my basement, and he loved it. And we call that demo-itis, where you don't want to get stuck on your demo, but there's a couple things that were like, I hit the right way. And he's like, oh. And so the bass part is actually me playing. And then the guitar solo was the one done in my basement. So it's like right over there, know? And then we just retracked it at Sawhorse. Like we put it through a board and reamped it. So that's kind of been the fun connection with me. And I forget, on the studio version, we have our friend Joanna Sarenko, who does the BGVs. And I couldn't ask for more perfect voice for that song. Besides her just being a badass on her own. But for that song specifically, I was very thankful she was around and gave us her talents.
Don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Sick and tired of wasting time, like envy your man. But don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Said, who am I? Ain't what I want, but what I want, it ain't always good. Said, ask away any questions you face. You can see the facts just like I knew you would. So don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. from me? Don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Sick and tired of wasting time, like I can't reach your mind. But don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. I see the quiet girl in a loud dog world, letting your hair hang down so close to me. Don't be afraid of what you want to say. You know you've got the answers locked away. So don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. But don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Sick and tired of wasting time, like I can't reach your mind. But don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Stop sitting around. It's finally time to talk the walk. Don't be shy, like I see it in your eyes. You wanna scream and shout and let it all out. Sit silent screams, all we need to know. Actions always speak louder than words. So don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Sick and tired of wasting time, like I can't reach your mind. But don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Oh, don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. But don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Sick and tired of wasting time, like I can't read your mind. But don't tempt me, tell me, baby, what you want from me. Ooh.
Yeah, she's great. I really really like her a lot, and we friend of the show and had a lot of fun hanging with her and Tyler a while back. So
yeah, man, he's a great dude.
Yeah, and you got Devon singing on Early Riser.
Yes,
I picked up on that one.
Kind of an unplanned cameo, but you know, the high part was just right in his range.
Yeah.
Like I know Devin. I was like, this is your part. This ain't mine. So, you know, he lent it, and it's been kind of funny because every once in a while I'll get a message like, "Is that Devin?" I'm like, "Oh, you know it is, baby."
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it was just cool. Like, you know, it wasn't like, you know, it was just nice. It was a nice little touch. You know, it was like having him a part of it and being included on the recording and stuff.
Yeah, so. And I think what's funny is for him, he just was singing background. You know what I mean? That's why he doesn't say feature or anything. Right. You know what I mean? It's just what's funny is fans of him can definitely tell, you know. And that's the good thing about his voice. But it was, you know, in his way, he was just like, I want to lay down this counter thing, which is what I had close in my mind too. So is there one that made like a pretty, you mentioning the demos and stuff, is there one that made a pretty drastic change from the original demo, or are they all? Yeah, I would say Ride. You know, Ride had like kind of an acoustic thing, and then because, you know, Ben and Paul kind of helped me write the music part of that, you know, and because we searched for a groove, you know, the melody was kind of there, the lyrics are there, you know, but the big thing was how we're going to keep that groove going. Mm-hmm. And so we just played a bunch of different kind of things. And I remember we searched for it for about an hour and a half. And then we found it. And I was like, don't move a muscle. It was right there. And they both sound great. And, you know, it's cool when you play it live because you can see it affect right away, you know, and those are the special moments you look for. So Ben and Paul, I think, really transformed that song, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I always like that kind of stuff. I like when you get those B-sides or rarity collections or different, alternate versions of songs. And those are always kind of fun to hear, like what it could have been. And before they ultimately decided what this is going to be the record, or this is the version that goes on the record and stuff. But
I was blown away how much Luther wanted to keep the same.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I said, okay,
Yeah.
I'll take that as a compliment and go with it.
And you got some vocals, opening ride there also, right? You got
oh yeah. So that was my favorite session vocally of that. What we did was we had the River Kittens at the time, which is Allie. It was Valley Gold and Maddie Shell. And we actually had R. Scott Bryan too in there, and we set up one mic and they all three sang into that. So it's like a very room sound, and they're doing it one take together.
Yeah.
I wish we could have done the whole record like that, but that takes a lot more time and energy. But they smash it. It's my favorite background vocal sound on the record. But yeah, that's the Kittens and R. Scott Bryan, all together. And that's like, I mean, that's as perfect background vocals as you're gonna get.
Yeah. Yeah, those two are very good. So yeah, we both of them out doing solo stuff now. So different projects. So get out there and support them.
Yeah, Maddie's new record that's coming out is really, really great. That's it. That's what I've heard, and I play with her every once in a while when she needs a sub on guitar, and I get to play those tunes, and they're just awesome. So I can't wait for everyone to hear the rest of that.
Yeah. Well, you can find everything at jacksonstokes.com. And again, on your favorite streaming platforms, and you can find, get plugged in on your Facebook and Instagram for more info.
Yeah. Jackson Stokes Music.
Hit the subscribe on YouTube for the music video coming soon.
Yes.
And,
thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, man. I maybe have done this one time or two.
Couple thousand times.
I got a couple questions I was thinking about, and get your take. Thinking of as we're going on with hitting the road and all these things. But one I've been thinking about a while, like if there's like a dream dinner, is there like if you could say either living or past. Is there certain people that you think it would be just fun to like spend the evening having a nice conversation and dinner with and stuff? This is kind of all spurred from on Stern Show one day. Dave Grohl talked about going to Paul McCartney's house, and we're like jamming with him and Taylor Swift, and I was just like, it was just kind of a crazy thing to think about these three people hanging out and just like it was a very some of those things would be just like, it'd be wild to be a fly on the wall, for that night. But,
oh yeah.
So I don't know. Is there is there somebody you think that would just be cool to sit and hang with for the night?
Oh man, that's a great question. Stevie Wonder would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That would be, and it's not attainable, but that, luckily he's still around. Still with it. Man, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably actually Marley would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. They got
get into philosophical stuff. That's pretty easy. That's pretty right on the nose one. You know what? Actually, I figured out mine. It'd be Bill Withers.
Yeah.
If I could eat a meal with Bill Withers, that would be it.
Yeah.
Just like eat with Uncle Bill. I don't even think we'd talk about music. I think he would probably not want to talk about it. So he'd just talk about I don't know, something, Sesame Street or some shit.
Yeah. It is his career, man, is wild to me that he did this and then dipped. He's
yeah.
He went
that's definitely not my route because I'm hooked. But at the same time, I have total respect for that.
Yeah.
I love that. You know what I mean? Live your life, man. Like think of how much, even just from that, you know, how much art he gave us. So it's like, you know, live. And I'm sure he got a lot more family time and a lot more other things that he would have had to sacrifice. But he also knew, like, okay, ain't no sunshine's gonna pay my bills, so I'm gonna dip. You know?
Yeah.
And total respect for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be any of those guys. That would definitely be. I mean, Bob Marley, like you said, there's a cool. Looks really cool. I don't know if I've seen just the trailer for it, but there's a new movie about him coming out. I saw the trailer before the Eras Taylor Swift concert.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I went to watch that last week.
How was it?
I liked it. It was cool. Like, I mean, I'm not like a big Swiftie, but I do like some of her songs, and but seeing like the whole production, I mean, it's impressive. Like, it's, you know, very cool to see how they filmed it all and everything, and just between all the backup dancers. I mean, she had like probably 20 dancers on stage that were like doing wardrobe changes for every song, pretty much, and like,
man. I've been thinking that stuff's so cool. Like, you know, whether you like Taylor Swift or not, like you got to get behind so many people going to support like an artist or something. That's just like cool. You know what I mean? And like people in the parking lot singing the songs to stadiums, like that's the stuff we dream about. That's the stuff in the 60s that they talked about. That was all cool, you know, and, you know, it might not be in the packaging that, you know, some people want it to be, but like that's a step forward, you know?
Yeah. It was wild to think about that. I think she filmed that at SoFi in LA. And I think I read that she sold out 6 shows in a row there at SoFi Stadium. Which is, that's a lot of tickets.
I mean, they were probably sold out in minutes,
yeah, right.
You know?
And, but and then like even the movie, let alone like it grossed nearly 100 million in theater on opening weekend, and they said that she's estimated to make like $4 billion on this Eras tour or something like that. Like, and I mean, like, I don't know if that's whatever, that's like gross, I guess, but like, I don't know exactly how all that works out, but that was some of the numbers I was reading. I was like, man, that is wild to think about.
Yeah.
But seeing like like I said, all the work that goes into it. I mean, this costs a lot of money to put together. It's a big production for sure.
Oh yeah, like people, man, no. I mean, that's like 50 semi trucks.
Right.
That's like even more. You know, I mean, I've done tours on a tour bus with a trailer.
Yeah.
That's big. That's a lot of stuff to haul, but that's not even a blip on the radar, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's impressive about it, you know? And yeah, there's a lot of overhead.
Yeah. It was cool to see though. Like I said, it was really well done. Sounds great. Looks great. But yeah, I think it would already I think it's like not the new all-time highest grossing concert film. I think I read something like that. So
yeah. I figure I was like, it's gotta be before it even comes out.
All right. What about something? What do you got? What are you currently listening to? Like, is there anything that's been stuck on repeat lately on your playlist or anything?
Listen to.
What do you?
Something just went across. What was it? No, I've been listening to a lot of old Sam Cooke lately. Like 60s soul songs that are like 2 to 3 minutes that just don't get out of your head, you know, like, and just all those. And I remember I used to like kind of hear him when I'd play with Jubilee, and there's this old guy named John Bedrosian. He was an old swing dancer. He'd always come up to me and just start singing Sam Cooke songs to me. And so I always think about him. But lately I've kind of been going and analyzing those. And yeah, so probably some going back and really studying some Sam Cooke. Yeah.
Nice. I remember I was just kind of mentioned it off mic, but I was listening to Keith Richards on Stern Show, and he was talking about Satisfaction.
Yeah.
That originally Howard was talking about that guitar lick and stuff, and he's like originally I heard it as horn part, and then I played it on guitar, like it goes like this, and then they were like, the producer at they were working with, who he's like, that's it right there, like, so it stayed in there as the song, as the playing, and then Otis Redding recorded the song and put the horn part back in there, like, so it was just kind of interesting to hear that Otis, he heard the horn line, and he left it in his version of the song. So
yeah, well, even the texture of the guitar tone,
right,
it sounds like horns. The gain on it, the saturation. Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's just kind of funny to hear, like, you just think about the soul songs and stuff like that era, like those guys, between Sam Cooke and Otis, and I mean, yeah, those records are so good, and like those.
There's still a lot of Al Green. Too.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
But hearing you say that makes a lot of sense why this new EP might be as smooth as it is. If you're learning from some of the masters doing it, man, those guys were definitely smooth.
They just write great songs.
Yeah.
Motown had great songs and great arrangements. There wasn't the technology of, they had a lot of capability, but there wasn't the technology to put so many stuff on there. So you had to like really make things tight and really make things arrangements and pop, and I think that's awesome. So that's just what I tried to do, I guess, in my own way.
Do you find yourself but like on that run for 50 days and stuff, like, or this upcoming, do you find yourself like getting time to put headphones on or get, to listen to music or podcast or audiobooks or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure. It kind of depends on the run that I'm on. 50-50 there wasn't much time. I was doing crew opening and playing in the band. So like I'd load in, set everything up, and, and so I would always take a nap every day.
Yeah.
I have my wind down podcasts, I listen to Dan Levitard podcasts and my kind of wind things, and I watch a lot of Seinfeld in Spanish. Those are my two like wind down things. But
do the jokes hit just as hard in Spanish too? Like,
no, I would say there's some where they just translate it and you're just like, okay, there's no way I get it, 'cause I know the context of what's going on.
All right.
But also there's, I would say more than I expected, but definitely there's a lot of ones that don't translate because they're so subtle, like, English plays on words or things like that. Or they'll like make them Spanish play on words or things like that.
Do they do like Jerry and George impressions and stuff, like, or do they just read it like it?
Well, they do very animated, but it's not like
I've never checked that out. I don't. So.
Yeah, it's not like the same voices,
right?
But Kramer's got the same thing. Kramer is like, he's the same kind of thing. And Jerry and George, So it's, but it's funny. It's just an interesting way of kind of rewatching something, and it tries to keep my brain going and trying to get a little better at learning Spanish. So,
yeah, Stacy's been doing the Duolingo app every night and trying to practice, learn a little Spanish along the way.
Yeah, it's important. I'm thankful I did, and I kind of beat myself up sometimes. I'm not as good, but I also think it's a never-ending journey. We still are mastering English, so, but that's what I love. It's kind of like music, it's learning a different genre of music and a different language. And, it's, especially in America now, it's important too. We're interacting with, it's almost a dual language country. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, I slept through like 2 years of French in high school, and
I slept through all my Spanish in high school. I didn't learn it. Yeah. There's no way.
so I kind of wish I would have. I feel that obviously it would be a lot more practical for me to learn Spanish than French, but at the time when it was between those two, or I chose the French because I liked the teacher better. So I was like, that was impacted my decision more than practicality. But
I didn't like Spanish in high school and took like one and got like a C or something. And then like in college, my roommate was Mexican. And so I was like, oh, this would be, I just like kind of got the bug or something. And I really liked soccer too. So it was like, and so I would talk to him every day. And then I've also worked with a lot of Spanish speaking, musicians and people. So it's been a good way of, a good extra thing to kind of keep my brain going,
Yeah, man.
and get an insight into some other cultures, we
were talking merch earlier, and various things. I was thinking of another question about, say that a day comes along, we get a Jackson Stokes action figure. What would you like to see maybe as your possible accessories to go with your action figure?
Oh, accessories to go with my action figure.
I mean, you got the guitars going. What is there a certain guitar you think you would like to have with it?
Probably my white guitar, Joanne. As of right now, she's a white guitar. Her name's Joanne, after my grandma.
Is that Telly?
It's a Fender Strat, but it's got P90s in it. So I'll talk. Sorry for anyone that doesn't understand this, but it's got P90s in it, which are different pickups than a Strat. So it sounds a little different than a normal Strat. So it's we call it a Frankenstrat, which means it's a lot of different parts from different places put together. But it's got a vibe. So but I'd probably have that. I'd probably have an espresso cup. I mean, how many hands do I have here? What else?
You can have any accessories you want.
Accessories.
Yeah.
They're, Oh, I definitely have a can of sparkling water.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably a J somewhere.
We're getting wild with some watermelon sparkling water tonight.
We are. You ready?
Yeah. I already cracked mine, but oh yeah.
ASMR.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
go.
But pretty wild, man. Pretty for a school night.
Yeah.
Hitting the sparkling water pretty hard.
Indeed. So I'm, trying to kick back.
Yeah.
But it's hard out here.
Yeah.
Life's hard.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Well, man, this has been incredible. I really appreciate you spending some time with me, and I always enjoy these chats and
Me too.
getting to catch up with an old friend.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Like I was think about how long we've been friendly now, buddies, and all the cool stuff, like I said earlier. But it's cool, man. I'm excited to see where this thing takes you. And
we're still here, man.
Yeah.
Chasing our dreams, doing the exact same stuff we've been doing and smiling. So that's beautiful.
Keep on grinding.
Yep.
And but yeah, again, get plugged in with Jackson on your socials, jacksonstokes.com, for all your tour dates and tickets and everything else. So Passengers EP available now. But thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Shane.
We'll see
I
you
appreciate
soon.
it, man. Yep. Heck yeah.
Bye, everyone.